Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. I am hopping on to talk about my five secret ways on how to get to bed. So, I think as a society, especially in America, we don't value sleep the way we should. And so we're always about go, go, go. I always grew up with the saying, I'll sleep when I'm dead, uh, probably because my mom always said it. And I never thought sleep was something you needed or that you could just recover the next couple of days and you can just sleep extra and your body would just like soak all that up and you'd be okay. But it's actually the complete opposite. And I know if people actually did try and sleep the amount that they needed daily, we'd probably have less health. We would have less health issues. And so, again, me personally, I can speak for myself. I never value sleep. I never did growing up. I never did in college. I'm pretty sure I don't think I've ever gotten a good night's sleep. But I've never had trouble going to sleep. Usually, once I lay my head on the bed, knock out after a long day of work, long day of school. But I always had a bad habit growing up. I never had a sleep schedule. I was always like brought up to like sleep with the TV on, especially if you're scared, or I need to have noise in the background. How like thinking about that is crazy because of like how bad that actually is for you. And it really wasn't until I was 26 years old that like I stopped sleeping with the TV on. And I had to like really force myself to do that. And because I knew how good it was for you being completely pitch black dark. And sometimes like I just needed comfort. And so I put on my favorite show or something like that. But it definitely wasn't good for me. And so a habit that I slowly weaned myself off was that and sleeping with some type of light on because for some reason I didn't like being in pitch black unless like someone was sleeping next to me. Um, honestly, it really again wasn't my idea. It was because my health was so bad that I had to start trying alternatives. And then really when I married my husband, he never grew up like with a TV on or lights on. So like that was another reason I had to force myself to like get over it and sleep in pitch black with no TV on. Um, so I knew how wrong it was to do it even at like 26 when I started changing, but it was still really hard for me until I started having health issues. Um, and so for me personally, I didn't really see a big difference other than it affecting my health down the road. And of course, like I know that had such a huge play of like how when I started getting sick, my sleep schedule was terrible. I probably wasn't even getting into REM sleep. Um, so fast forward a couple years, and I had more health issues at like 29 than my 60-year-old parents did at the time. And I know just thinking about it, like, oh, sleeping with the TV on, having a sleep schedule, that couldn't have done it. Well, no, but it definitely didn't add to it. It didn't promote my body to heal. I ended up having again like cystic acne that came out of nowhere, consistent pelvic pain, chronic infections. I was a wreck. And so one of the things that I had to decide to want to change, that I could easily change that costed no money was how I was sleeping. And so once I became adamant that I'm going to change certain things amongst my sleep. I again used functional labs to see how my hormones were completely imbalanced, to see how my circadian rhythm was way off. Which circadian rhythm is your internal time clock, and it's hugely contributed to your sleep. So again, on my research, I found that again, every body part is connected. And if one area is out of balance, then it's going to cascade into something bigger, badder, and turn into symptoms, or even worse, a diagnosis. And that's kind of where I was. And so this description that I just said is really defined as something known as metabolic chaos happening in your body. Metabolic disease has really been increased throughout the years. Not saying that this is the main reason, but this is definitely a contributor. Our lack of sleep and our lack of ability to prioritize it. So again, this is exactly what I knew I was dealing with in my body. Now, again, after going through a program and really understanding how the body works, and me having knowledge and becoming well versed in the areas of each body part, organ, how they should be in balance. I know it's not easy to change your lifestyle all at once. But if you could start off slowly, maybe with just something as small as your sleep schedule, it's going to hugely impact your health in the long run and how your body is able to heal. So if you're someone who you are having trouble sleeping, it doesn't come naturally to you, you struggle, here are some hacks that you could try. So you can have a bedtime snack. And no, I'm not talking about ice cream. And no, I'm not talking about processed carbs. I'm talking about uh, increased amount of protein um, that your body is able to really understand that you're getting to sleep, um, but something that is going to promote your body to start to calm down. Again, you could try this. It's something that, again, everyone's different, but it's something that you also need to make sure that, you're eating for your metabolic type. So you're not eating, again, some people do better on higher carbs, lower protein and fat. Some people do need more protein, more fats. And it's just something that if you watch my other video talking about the 4 pillars of nourishing diet, you'll get some more information from there. But this is something that maybe you could try, maybe some nut butter, a banana, some collagen, see if that helps. And then, of course, what we talked about before, sleep in the dark as much as possible. Because again, the light is going to disrupt your circadian rhythm. It's going to affect the amount of melatonin and serotonin levels that are being produced. If they see light, they're going to think you're up, you're awake. I need to make sure melatonin goes down. And so we don't want that. So try definitely that if you're not already doing that. Sometimes even wearing socks, which is secret number 3, can really help. I know even with me, sometimes I just have a tendency of having like cold extremities. And sometimes I would wake up if my feet were freezing and they were out of the cover. So maybe trying a pair of socks. I know some people even say, well, no, I sweat. Okay, well, try it, see what happens, see if you have less frequent ups and downs throughout the night. And my least favorite, but I know it works, is keeping it cool. I live in Florida, so I love everything hot. I get cold very easily. I don't have a lot of fat to you know, keep me warm. So I get cold with everything. If I had it my way, my house would be very hot, but that my husband would not be happy. So I mean, the colder you can keep it, I mean, there have been studies that 68 degrees is really going to do wonders for your sleep. Um, but again, it's not something I personally am even going that low because I physically can't do it. But if you are someone who loves the cold, if you're willing to try it, I would definitely see how that works. Um, Even again, like Epsom salt baths to really adjust for your temperature could probably help you fall asleep quicker. And number 5, which I know most people will find it difficult, but it's something that is definitely doable, even if you decrease what you're already doing now. So early to bed. So I know it's our world is chaotic. There's lots of things, especially if you have a family, if you have a job that maybe has different time requirements for you. But it's something so important that we need to know from 2 p.m. I'm sorry, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is when our body is actually restoring itself and healing. And so when we miss those prime times of sleeping, our body's not able to adjust and actually take the time to heal, which will make it harder for you to actually um, go through the process in your healing journey. So it's something that you really want to be adamant and vigilant about. If you're someone who can't get to sleep before 1 in the morning, okay, push it back till 12:30. And then the next week, 12 o'clock. And then just go further and further until you can get to a okay time. Even if you can get it to 11, it's better than nothing. But you will really notice a difference when you're able to do that. And I know this can all seem very overwhelming, especially since most of these things seem sometimes impossible to be consistent with. But again, having just the patience with yourself, the grace with yourself to just try each and every one of these things um, can make a difference. And remember, it does take 21 days to build a habit, and maybe try each month to tackle one of these things at a time so that you don't get so overwhelmed. But you don't have to be perfect. And you can't fail if you keep getting back up. So, in the description, there's going to be the link for this blog that you can go and read a little bit more. If it's something that you're willing to do, go for it. I believe in you. I think you're going to do fantastic, and it's the little steps that make a difference. And there's also a link if you would like to schedule a consultation with me. I hope this was helpful for anyone, and I hope you were able to get some type of good information. And if you like this video, subscribe, and I will have more videos really going into detail, really helping people become their own health advocate. So, guys, have a blessed day, and I will talk to you soon.